Picture this. You plan the perfect Mother's Day brunch. You reserve the best table. You show up with flowers, gifts, your heart full of love. And nobody comes. Not your siblings, not even your mother. Fast forward 3 weeks, and suddenly your phone is blowing up. But they're not calling to apologize. They're calling because they need $8,000. And when you say no, they call you selfish. They call you stuck up. They say you've forgotten where you came from. But what they didn't know was that my boyfriend was listening to every word. And what happened next? Let's just say karma has a way of showing up right on time. If you've ever felt invisible to the people who are supposed to love you most, this story is going to hit different. I'm talking about the kind of hurt that sits in your chest for weeks, the kind that makes you question your own worth. But I'm also talking about the moment when you finally stand up for yourself and the universe backs you up in the most unexpected way. Stay with me until the end because you won't believe how this plays out. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now. I share real stories about real situations, the ones that make you think, the ones that make you feel something. Because life isn't perfect, and neither are families. Let's get into it. My name is Simone, and for most of my life, I've been the person people call when things fall apart. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying it because it's true. I'm a pharmaceutical sales director in Chicago, and I've worked my tail off to get here. I didn't come from money. My mama raised 4 of us on a teacher's salary after my father left when I was 12. I watched her skip meals so we could eat. I watched her work double shifts so we could have school supplies. And I promised myself that when I made it, I'd make sure she never struggled again. By the time I was 25, I was helping out regularly. My brother Kyle needed $1,500 for a car repair. I sent it. My sister Vanessa couldn't make rent 1 month. I covered it. My other sister Danielle wanted to take a certification course but couldn't afford it. I paid for the whole thing. When Mama needed a root canal and her insurance wouldn't cover it, I handed her $3,000 without blinking. I never asked for the money back. I never threw it in anyone's face. That's what family does, right? You help each other. But here's the thing about being the helpful one. People start to see you as a resource instead of a person. My birthday would come and go. Maybe I'd get a text at 11 p.m. I got promoted to director last year, the biggest achievement of my career, and not one family member acknowledged it. When I invited everyone to celebrate with me, they all had excuses. Too busy. Too tired. Something came up. I started to notice a pattern. They only called when they needed something, and I kept answering because I didn't want to be the kind of person who turned her back on family. So when Mother's Day rolled around this year, I wanted to do something special. Mama had been talking about this restaurant downtown, Rouge, one of those places with the soft lighting and the fancy French menu. I called 3 weeks ahead and reserved their private dining room. I'm talking the works. I ordered her favorite flowers, lilies, and roses. I put together a photo album with pictures from our childhood. I sent calendar invites to everyone, Kyle, Vanessa, Danielle. Everybody confirmed. Everybody said they'd be there. Mother's Day morning, I woke up excited. I got dressed in this beautiful lavender dress Mama always said looked good on me. I showed up at the restaurant 45 minutes early to set everything up. I arranged the flowers. I placed the photo album at Mama's seat. I ordered mimosas for the table. The reservation was for 11 a.m. At 11, I sat there alone, checking my phone. At 11:15, I texted the group chat. "Hey, y'all close? I'm here." No response. At 11:30, my stomach started to knot up. At 11:45, Danielle texted, "Running late? Be there soon." I relaxed a little. Okay, they're just running late. 12 o'clock came. Nothing. I texted again. Kyle responded this time. "Oh man, sis, I forgot I had this thing. My bad. My bad." Like it was a casual coffee meetup and not Mother's Day. At 12:15, Vanessa sent a message. "Not feeling good, gonna stay in bed, tell Mama I love her." Then at 12:30, Mama herself texted, "Baby, I'm just too tired today. Let's reschedule." Let's reschedule. Mother's Day. I sat in that private dining room until 1 p.m. The waiter kept asking if I wanted to order. I kept saying, Just a few more minutes, they're coming. But they never came. When I finally left, I had to pay an $800 cancellation fee because I'd ordered a preset menu. I drove home with mascara running down my face, feeling like the biggest fool in Chicago. And you want to know the worst part? Nobody called that night to apologize. Nobody texted the next day to check on me. The group chat went completely silent. It was like Mother's Day never happened. Like I never sat there alone for 2 hours, waiting for people who couldn't be bothered to show up. I didn't say anything either. What was I supposed to say? I just sat with that hurt, letting it settle into my bones. 3 weeks went by. 3 weeks of silence from my family. Then, on a random Tuesday afternoon, my phone rang. Kyle. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Hey sis, what's good?" He sounded chipper, like we'd just talked yesterday. We made small talk for maybe 2 minutes. How's work? How's the weather? You know, the surface stuff. Then he got to it. "So listen, I need to talk to you about something serious. I lost my job last month, and I'm behind on everything. Rent, car note, utilities. I'm looking at eviction if I don't come up with $8,000 by Friday. I know it's a lot, but you're the only person I can turn to. Can you help me out?" $8,000, with 4 days' notice, from the same person who couldn't show up to Mother's Day. I took a breath. "Kyle, do you remember Mother's Day?" There was a pause. "What? Yeah, I remember. Why?" I could feel my hands shaking. "You forgot about it. You all did. I sat in that restaurant alone for 2 hours. Do you know how that felt?" He sucked his teeth. "Simone, come on. That was weeks ago. You still on that? I'm talking about losing my apartment, and you're worried about some brunch? Stop being petty and help your brother out." Petty? He called me petty for having feelings. "This is an emergency, sis. A real emergency. Not hurt feelings over a missed meal. I need that money by Friday or I'm on the street." I told him I needed to think about it. He said, "Think fast," and hung up. 10 minutes later, the group chat exploded. Kyle must have told everyone I said no, even though I said I'd think about it. Vanessa sent a long message about how I'd changed since I started making good money. Danielle said I'd forgotten where I came from. And then Mama sent a text that broke my heart. "Simone, family helps family. Your brother needs you." Nobody mentioned Mother's Day. Nobody acknowledged that they'd hurt me. I was just supposed to get over it and open my wallet. I sat on my couch that night, staring at my phone, feeling like I was going crazy. Was I wrong? Was I being selfish? Should I just send the money to keep the peace? I called Daniel. I'd been seeing him for about 6 months at this point. We met at a charity gala for childhood literacy. He was quiet, thoughtful, the kind of man who listens more than he talks. He told me he worked in real estate investment, bought and managed properties around the Midwest. He drove a nice Tesla, lived in a beautiful penthouse in Lincoln Park, but nothing about him screamed wealth. He wore regular clothes, jeans, and button-downs. He took me to normal restaurants. He was just Daniel, solid, grounded, real. I told him everything over dinner that night. I mean everything. The years of helping out, the Mother's Day disaster, Kyle's phone call, the family group chat turning on me. He sat there, listening, not interrupting, just taking it all in. When I finished, he asked me one question. "Why do you think they treat you this way?" I didn't have an answer at first. Then it hit me. "Because I let them." He nodded slowly. "Simone, love isn't transactional. You shouldn't keep score with people you care about. But respect? Respect is earned. And it sounds like they've stopped respecting you because they know you'll always say yes. When people show you who they are, you have to believe them." He wasn't telling me what to do. He wasn't offering to fix it. He was just helping me see clearly. "What do you want to do?" he asked. I thought about it, really thought about it. I want to say no. I want to set boundaries. but I'm scared they'll cut me off. Daniel reached across the table and took my hand. Then they were never really there to begin with. A week later, Mama called. Her voice was different, softer. Baby, I think we need to sit down as a family and talk about everything. Clear the air. I'm making reservations at Bennett's Steakhouse for Friday night. Can you come? I was skeptical, but I agreed. I told her I wanted to bring Daniel. She hesitated. This is family business, Simone. I stood firm. He's important to me, Mama. If I'm coming, he's coming. She finally agreed. Friday night, Daniel and I walked into Bennett's Steakhouse. It's one of those old-school places with dark wood and leather booths. My family was already seated at a large table in the back. Kyle, Vanessa, Danielle, Mama, and someone I didn't recognize, Kyle's friend Tyler. That's when I knew. This wasn't a reconciliation dinner. This was an ambush. We sat down. The energy was ice cold. Nobody greeted Daniel. Nobody even looked at him. They were all focused on me, with these tight smiles that didn't reach their eyes. We ordered food, made painful small talk. Then Kyle cleared his throat. So, Simone, we wanted to talk to you because we're all concerned. You've changed. Ever since you got that big promotion and started making real money, you've been acting different. Acting like you're better than us. Vanessa jumped in. We're your family. We were there for you when you had nothing. I almost laughed. Were you? When? Give me one example. She couldn't. Danielle tried next. Mama raised you to care about family, to put family first. That's what we do. We take care of each other. Then Kyle went for it. I'm about to be homeless, Simone. Homeless. I need $8,000 by Monday or I'm out on the street. We all talked and we think you should help. It's the right thing to do. They'd all talked. Behind my back. They'd planned this dinner to corner me in public, to pressure me where I couldn't make a scene. Mama looked at me with these sad eyes. What would people think, baby, if you let your own brother end up on the streets when you could help? I felt my chest tighten. I laid it out for them, calmly. In the last 8 years, I've given this family $47,000. I paid for Kyle's car. I covered Vanessa's rent 5 times. I paid for Danielle's courses. I paid for Mama's dental work and medical bills. I never asked for any of it back. I never complained. And on Mother's Day, when I planned something special for you, Mama, not one of you showed up. Not one. I sat there alone for 2 hours. Kyle slammed his hand on the table. Here we go again with the Mother's Day thing. Get over it. That was a mistake. We apologized. I looked at him. No, you didn't. Not once. He stood up, his voice getting louder. You're really gonna do this? You're really gonna let me lose my apartment over some petty grudge? That's who you are now? That's when Daniel spoke. It was the first time he'd said anything all night. His voice was calm, quiet, but it cut through the noise like a knife. I think there's been a misunderstanding here. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a checkbook. My family's eyes lit up. They thought he was about to offer money. Daniel clicked his pen and started writing. I'm writing a check for $8,000. Kyle smiled. Vanessa sat up straighter. Daniel finished writing, tore out the check, and held it up. This check is going to the owner of this restaurant. Confusion washed over their faces. You see, Simone paid an $800 cancellation fee on Mother's Day when all of you abandoned her. This dinner tonight is going to cost around $400. That's $1,200 total. The remaining $6,800 is to ensure that none of you can ever claim you needed Simone's help again. Consider it a severance package for the relationship you've been taking advantage of. The table went silent. The restaurant owner, who'd been passing by, stopped. Mr. Whitfield, is everything all right? Mr. Whitfield. Kyle's eyes went wide. He pulled out his phone and started typing. Vanessa did the same. Danielle looked confused until Vanessa showed her the screen. I watched the color drain from all of their faces. Daniel Whitfield. real estate developer, founder of Whitfield Holdings, net worth $2.3 billion. My family had spent the entire dinner ignoring him, dismissing him, treating him like he was invisible, and now they realized exactly who he was. Daniel stood up and helped me out of my chair. He looked at my family one last time. Simone doesn't need your approval. She doesn't need to prove her worth to people who refuse to see it. She's been carrying you for years, and you've repaid her with disrespect and entitlement. This meal is paid for. The check covers everything. After tonight, leave her alone. He took my hand and we walked out of that restaurant together. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I could feel their eyes on us, the weight of their shock and regret. But that wasn't my burden to carry anymore. 6 months have passed since that night. I haven't heard from Kyle, Vanessa, or Danielle. Mama sent one text about 3 months ago. We need to talk. I didn't respond. Maybe that makes me cold. Maybe that makes me unforgiving. But I've never felt more at peace. Daniel and I are still together, stronger than ever. He never brings up that night unless I do. He never says I told you so. He just loves me for who I am, not for what I can give him. I learned something important through all of this. Blood doesn't automatically mean loyalty. Family isn't just about who you're related to. It's about who shows up. It's about who values you when you have nothing to offer. And sometimes protecting your peace means walking away from people who only see you as a bank account. If this story hit home for you, hit that like button right now. Drop a comment. And tell me, have you ever had to set boundaries with family members who only valued what you could give them? Have you ever been the person everyone calls when they need something, but nobody calls to just see how you're doing? This is a safe space. Share your story. You're not alone in this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I post real stories about real life every single week. The messy stuff, the painful stuff, the stuff that makes you think twice about the people you let into your life. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Remember this: you don't owe anyone access to you just because you share DNA. You don't owe anyone your resources, your time, or your energy if they don't respect you. Protect your peace, guard your heart, and know your worth. I'll see you in the next one.